It's late into the evening here at Shelbourne Park. Indeed, it's early into the next morning. It's Sunday, and here we are once again looking back on the heats of the BoyleSports Irish Greyhound Derby. We're after seeing the concluding 13 heats of the opening round of the BoyleSports Derby. And Kevin, I think it's safe to say it lived up to its billing. It was, again, another terrific night's racing. Fastest on the clock was March On Freddy. Firstly, it's just wonderful to see an English runner coming over here, doing the business, and by all accounts, he really does look a Shelbourne Park Greyhound.
Oh, he does. Look, I seen him doing a couple of runs in the UK and he just screamed Shelbourne Park. He starts well. He's got unbelievable back straight pace. And look, if you're fond of the straights, you'll be fond of Shelbourne. And look, he ticks every box. He looks like a dog who could put it up to his brother. But yeah, like what you said, leaving here last night, it was hard to believe that last night's action could be topped. And you can make an argument whether Friday was better than Saturday, but the fact that you can make that argument just goes to show that the depth and quality that we saw tonight was just out of this world as well. So
yeah, it was just outstanding. Obviously, you have a strong connection to BoyleSports, Bob, being a valued member of BoyleSports. Obviously, your father trains him, and you had a fair part in picking the dog. He was also hugely impressive, 29.24, coming from off the pace, or 29.25, coming from off the pace, picking up short grip. I would say that was very pleasing too.
Oh yeah, look, it was a fantastic night. You know, with 4 in it, 3 winners, and Diego going through as the fastest fourth. So it was a fantastic night. But Bob definitely put the cherry on top tonight.
Yeah, let's get into it. The opening heat went to Nora. She got a lovely run into the opening corner, Phoenix Memphis. I didn't expect him to go in as much as he did into the corner. Got a bit tight on the inside. Castlevy Ginge, Ballymacbriar were sort of squeezed out of things. And Nora, she charged up the middle of the track when she had that bit of racing room. She cut the corner. All of a sudden, there was a bit of bothering behind. She's found herself clear. Now, Castlevy Ginge ran a big race to really close the gap. And Ballymacbriar, I actually thought ran very hard back in third. But Nora wasn't to be picked up. Castlevy Ginge did threaten off the last bend, but I think Nora kicked again. She wins in 29.71. You know, obviously she can go faster, and she has gone faster, but just a nice display.
Yeah, she was very, very brave at the corner now, because she just about got round it. She lost her back legs on the corner as well. It was that close, but she really drove it. Very, very lucky to get round the corner, but very brave in doing so, and she was rewarded by being able to open up such an advantage. Castlevy Ginge connections will feel desperate and lucky not to have won this race, because like you said, 3 Phoenix Memphis moved in. Whether that caused Ballymacbriar, I thought he moved in substantially even from 2 as well, and just really squares up Castlevy Ginge. She's only 62 pound weight, and Ballymacbriar 75 pound weight, so she was really pushed in against the fence, but she showed all sorts of ability and pace down the back straight and around the bottom 2 bends. And just for that split second, you thought she might get there, but like you said, Nora won straightening for home. Ginger's runner, she just pulled out a little bit more. Looked the clock, 29.71. We weren't really sure what type of runs we'd see tonight. We did see obviously quicker, but we know what she's capable of doing. She's 28.30, beating Kusan Pickles on her card, so she's a very talented lady. But the winner and the runner-up, I thought, ran really, really well. And I know you said in commentary you were very impressed with the third Ballymacbriar's, as would I have been, because at one point in the race, Tivoli Milo and Droopy Supply down around the bottom bend were on his heels, I'd say. And Ballymacbriar had been known for his early pace, and for him to put his head down and pull it out all the way to the line in a tough 550 when he's not in front, it can be hard on front runners, and we know he can go up way, way quicker. He's got some fantastic sectionals done for the 5-5. The longer run should suit him. He's a lightly raced young dog, with a nice future ahead of him. So I'd say the front 3 here will be all very happy going through.
Yeah, he showed a different side to his character. Ladies first and second. That's not the first time we've said that in recent years. The ladies really flying. On to the second heat, and I'm sure you'd be more than happy to talk about this, but let's start with Toon Charlie. He finished third. It's the end of the sequence. He was bidding for 17 in a row. He's after doing 16 in a row. You know, I think this is the time now to really commend the connections. You know, they were left with a choice. What do? We leave him off and try and pick off 1 or 2 little easy races or dogs that he's beaten before. And they said, no, let's have a go at the Derby. And, you know, I'm not saying they were giving up on the sequence. You know, there was every chance he could have won this race tonight. He didn't quite get a start and got squeezed up in the opening corner. I thought ran a big, big race in defeat. He's a close third after a little bit of bother. But, you know, when it comes down to it, he probably still needs another race or 2 to sharpen him up for this. Like, it's very much a different discipline, but, you know, short grip showed her real class into the opening corner. She drove into a clear advantage, but I think her goose was cooked when your fella just got around Poet's Dawn, in around those opening 2 bends and down the back straight. Your fella, just when he gets moving, he's so fluent, he's so powerful. He just loves this place. But I've yet to see him not run a track. You know, he just seems to be that type of dog. I'm sure you were more than pleased.
Oh yeah, look, over the moon with him. Since England, the plan was always just to come straight here. You obviously had the Ledger and the Laurels, and it was a decision jointly made. Ned Murphy, John, and the father all decided that they were just going to down tools and come here. He's only had a handful of gallops. He 2 sprint trials in Cork that were exceptional, quicker than what he was doing before he went to Toaster, and he obviously took off here 2 weeks ago with a brilliant run. And we didn't do a whole pile with him between that run and here tonight, and he's improved. He's taken 2 lengths off that clock in breathtaking fashion. So look, everything is going according to plan so far. Still plenty far to go.
He just seems like the type of dog your father has really sort of excelled with in the past. You know, I talk about JT Taylor, JT Jet, now BoyleSports Bob, but that sort of real strong runner, a good wide seed, a confirmed dog who has a great constitution, but you still have to nurse him through these competitions, and that's exactly what it seems he's doing.
Yeah, look, I think he's every bit as fast as the dogs you've mentioned. I really do. I've thought the world of him since he was a young dog, since we purchased him out of the Red Mills in Kilkenny. I've always thought his engine is just incredible. He showed tonight the good, but he also showed the bad. Like in a better race, missing the start like that, you know, he's a little bit inconsistent at the boxes, and that's always been his Achilles heel. If he starts on terms and gets a run, he's as fast as anything in training.
He only needs to hit them once though.
Yeah, exactly, and he's capable of doing that. Like, I'm not saying he'll do a 3:38 or anything, but he's definitely capable of breaking 3:50 when he gets it right. But look, brilliant run tonight, and like you said, touching on Toon Charlie, I think the connections made the decision. You know, dropping back down to 4 bends, the sequence in all likelihood was going to go, but I think it showed unbelievable competitive spirit from them to do that. I do believe that over 6 bends, probably if there was a couple more valuable competitions, they may have been tempted to stay over, but just it is the way it is that
they ran out of road basically.
Yeah, the bigger competitions are at 4 bends, and it's unfortunate. You know, it really is. Like, you'd love to see 1 or 2 more bigger competitions for the stayers and the sprinters, and look, that is what it is. But to drop him back down, and he's run his heart out there tonight. Like, Short Grip for me is in the top 2 or 3 bitches in the country. She's run her heart out, and Toon Charlie's gone by her into the escape and caught up to Bob. So look, I think the top 3 there will all be very, very pleased.
Yeah, very high class top 3.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah, Short Grip, as I said, I think she'll come on a site for it. Let's get to Heat 16, March on Freddy. I didn't know what to expect. I was expecting him to win. I'll be honest. I thought this was a fairly straightforward task for him. As talented as Miami King and Sid Zafiro are, they're not blessed with massive early speed. I was a slight bit concerned about Get Up Me Boy coming into 4, but it was his first race in Ireland, you know, and he didn't hit the lids. He has some good 4-bend form in the UK in terms of real speed tracks, but it didn't happen for him. And in the end, March and Freddy comfortably led to the corner. Funny enough, I actually thought he scratched a little bit on the opening corner. It just seemed to getting his bearings. But once he straightened up into the back straight, holy hand, he took off to the 3rd bend. And you're thinking, right, they're going to start coming at him now, because Miami King is very strong, and Sid Zafiro, yes, he's coming back after a layoff himself, but he is strong. But this fellow just galloped away from them. Like, he wins 7.5 lengths at 29.19. It was a monstrous display from the 2nd bend. And like, even then, he was going hard to that point as well. I think he's a serious Derby player.
Oh no, you can't deny it. I fancied him to win the race. If they were all at the same price, I'd have backed him. But I thought Miami King was being disrespected, to be honest, in the event. And, you know, whether it was the fact that we finally had a real proper UK challenger, that was the reason. Like, Miami King is a Ledger runner-up. He's an unbelievably talented greyhound, ever so consistent, so strong. He's great all-round pace. Like, he's a fair greyhound. And March on Freddy, like, he dominated him. Like, he really did. I'm not knocking Miami King there because I'm a massive admirer of him, but like, he made no. He didn't leave here wondering like what would happen if the two met again.
Yeah.
Like, it was just a complete performance. Now, he did wing it out. Whether he can keep winging it out, like, I obviously don't know as much about him as other people would have. Seen a handful of races of him in the UK. I had him down as a strong running, good all rounder, but he absolutely, like, 3:41. Like, that's, I know there's been.
I didn't think he winged it. I thought he came away well, but then I thought he got racing.
Yeah,
you know,
maybe
I think he was. Like, I called him after coming out fast because my eyes were on him, but I could see in the inside that something was away as well, if not slightly better. But Jesus, he just flew into the opening corner, and while he probably goes into the bend with 2.5 lengths in front, he sort of comes out of it a length and a half in front, maybe just a length, but quickly straightened up into the back straight. He was gone. And just I think do you know what he ran like? He ran like a real 575, 600-yard dog who has a bit of early.
Well, that's what I would have had him down as from what I had seen in the UK, and the reason I say he flashed out was I watched it over the far side, so I didn't actually watch it from this side. And David Mullins was about 4 people down from me, and he let her go on Freddy the minute the trap's open.
Yeah.
It looked from the far side anyway that he took a flyer. But yeah, look, and just to touch on it, like we've done this, as you said last night, for 10, 11 years now at this stage, and we've been crying out for a couple of the challengers to come over from the UK. And in fairness, they do come in the numbers. As long as I'm doing this with you, I don't think we've had a contender possibly as good, potentially as good as this guy. And
do you know the last time, I've asked Barry Call already this evening,
Well,
do you know the last time there was an English trained finalist?
No.
2007.
Okay.
And he was formerly trained by your father.
All right, yeah. And I know him, Groovy Stan.
Yes,
yeah,
correct and right. Welcome, Daniel.
Yeah, but like this dog has every credential that you'd look for. He's a wide seed. As we saw tonight, he can start, pace up well, and if he's in front off the second bend, I don't think there's many who catch him.
Yeah, it was just a whoosh type display. One of those where you go, wow, stand back and enjoy. While the two dogs last night were all about that pure brute early speed and flying to the third bend, this fellow ran well to that point, but it was really from halfway, early in the back straight, halfway, that he really took off. It really, really impressed me. On to Heat 17, and this was won by Tribal Sid, recently bought by the Dubs and Culchie Syndicate. He made it 2 for 2 for his new owners. By all accounts, it looks like a good investment. 29.50, 17 seconds. Like, he's going to do that every night, isn't he? He just has terrific early speed. Murchie just knows the dog inside out. He arrives, he does what he does, and toddles off, and he's into the next round. Second, I thought Southwood Stan ran very well. There was a big collection of the connections here tonight at the Derby draw, and Fay Point Harvey back in third. Good display by first and second. Fay Point Harvey just didn't get the start that he's capable of, but I don't think he worried Tribal Sid anyway.
Oh yeah, no, and like you said on the 17 seconds, like, he didn't start the way he can. Now look, I hope don't put the mockers on him, but I'd be saying 3:43 would probably be up there if he goes a couple of rounds with one of his slower sectionals. He's well capable of breaking 3:40. We talked about it last night, a couple of the 3:30 odds. Like,
he has a 16.83 here already.
Oh yeah, like 17 seconds, it will be as sluggish to the third bend as he's likely to do. Like, he can go quicker than that, but he's just the ever professional. He's just a wonderful greyhound to have. Like, is he ever going to post the overall fastest time? Possibly not. But as I said to Murty after the race, like, if you had a Bocco's Diamond, if you had a Bombay Pat, like,
you don't want him on your inside.
If he's drawn 5, you do not want to be in 6, because, like, how do we get around him? It would be very difficult. And just to mention on Southwood Stan, as you said there, the contingent that were here for the draw.
Huge contingent. I thought there was about 12 dogs represented. There was only one dog.
I go back with them, actually, because back in the day we trained dogs for the O'Grady's, and I was talking to him here tonight. I haven't seen them in probably 10 or 12 years, and 17 grandchildren, girlfriends were here. The whole lot of them were here. So I really hope Adam Dunford and the O'Grady family get great crack with this.
I hope Adam knows the pressure he's on.
Yeah, it's on him now. And then Fay Point Harvey, like, I thought he trapped well. He's better than that. He's a strong running, good all rounder dog for Graham Holland. He's capable of going much quicker too.
We'll move on to the next heat, and Sing Along Dolly wasn't in the original entry. Classic winner, Sing Along Dolly. There was a logistical sort of situation there in terms of unanimous Panther and Sing Along Dolly. Yeah. That's been rectified. They got in as reserves. Surprise, surprise. Yeah. And those that took prices for about Hawkfield Blue and Yorkie Ollie soon knew their fate, because Sing Along Dolly, a Cesarewicz winner over 600 yards, flashed out. Game over, ball burst, give me my ball, I'm heading home. 29.39, easy as you like, and her price slashed for Derby Glory.
Yeah, no, she absolutely winged it. The minute she got it across and cleared them to the bend, but she has that in her arsenal. She's capable of absolute flying start.
But she won a Puppy Oaks over 5.25, so she does have that sort of speed.
Yeah, and she ran in the English Derby this year. It was a Bob she was against in one of the heats, or maybe it was Craig, but she did a right ding dong battle with them. Like, she's a real gutsy lady. And the thing about her, we've seen bitches, dominate the bitches sphere and then struggle against dogs. Like, this one doesn't. She doesn't matter.
I often slag, but like Gilbert Anderson, one of the luckiest owners in the game.
Yeah,
it always helps. It always helps. And the second was Ballymac Gizmo. It's good to see him showing a bit of sparkle. Hasn't really fired since the English Derby, and he's a dog where we're sort of waiting for it to happen with him. But I thought he showed plenty of boot tonight. Hawkfield Blue was back in third. He just didn't get the run when he needed. Like, he was denied that bit of space in the opening corner where, like, if Sing Along Dolly hadn't been in it, he could well have gone around in front, and that would have been a different story. But he's still one I wouldn't be just dismissing just yet. But no, Sing Along Dolly, an impressive winner.
Yeah, no, and like you said there, I'm taken by the second and third there massively. What you said there on Gizmo, I think for a young dog to have gone the 6 weeks of the English Derby. Like, it's tough on a young dog, and that was a major step back right in the right direction. And Hawkfield Blue, to me, showed unbelievable gears from 2 to 3 down the back. But when you look at the dogs that were in behind them, Gizmo, Swords Dawn, Deadly Disco, Yorkie Ollie, they're all strong runners. Like, tonight was a night that he could have very easily gone out. You know, an early pacer, didn't get to dictate, didn't get to lead, a middling sort of second going down the back, but he stuck at it again up the home
He knows
straight.
what it's about these days, doesn't he?
And I keep saying it, the night that them early pacers get led is the night that they're in jeopardy, and he managed to ride it and get through. So it'll be a danger next week.
We'll move on to Heat 19, where Mustang Fever just got the better of Croker's Rocket. Grangeclare Lady set a strong gallop. She didn't take a flyer, but she showed great early speed to get to the front. A daughter of Susie Sapphire, of course, who, you know, one of our great favourites. But Grangeclare Lady was picked up in the closing yards. This was a thrilling finish. There was little between the first 3 home. Croker's Rocket was perhaps, you know, looking likely to be the biggest heat winner, biggest priced heat winner in my memory. He ran an unbelievable race with Vincent McKenna, John Croker. I'll be honest, I wouldn't have backed him at 100 to 1.
Okay.
I think he was 50 to 1 tonight, and he's beaten a short head, or is it a short head or a head by Mustang Fever, who in fairness showed great guts. We know she can go up faster than she did tonight, but she did come away well, but she just couldn't hold Grangeclare Lady. But she dug in, and she's a good winner for Pacquiao.
She is, because I thought, it's not obviously inexperience, but I thought maybe just indecision around the bottom 2 bends could have costed her, because she closed the gap quite quickly.
She toyed with the idea of going the other side.
Inside, outside, and listen, we've trained plenty of them. The list goes on, and it can be frustrating with them. But I thought, you know, she possibly had lost her chance there, just sort of going inside, then switching outside, and it just sort of seemed like she didn't know which way to go. But then once she straightened up, you knew Grangeclare Lady, the run home was going to be the weakest part of her race, and just getting up to Pippin Mustang Fever, a taken winner. Grangeclare Lady, we spoke about the dam Susie Sapphire. She's brilliant on the bends as well, like her mother. Like I said it to you back in the day that I never saw anyone to run the bends, the first 2 bends in Shelbourne, like Susie Sapphire.
Certainly not from the inside, anyway.
Yeah, no, not before her, not after. But she similar. She absolutely doesn't break a stride going around the first 2 bends. And she's capable of doing a lot quicker than 17-19 to the 3rd bend as well. And like you said, Croker's Rocket just run an unbelievable race to qualify, and like you said, could have nearly grabbed glory there as well. Yeah,
Ballinabola Jim, big Jim, as myself and Barry have been calling him in recent times. Here the laddie da was that a red hot favourite, like crazy short price favourite. I thought he was I put 8.15 in the card. I think he was even shorter than that, maybe 1 to 3 or something, 1 to 4 maybe. But he just didn't get the start. He just doesn't seem to be quite the same sharp dog that he was early in his career. He also then found himself in a pocket. Off the second bend, you could see there was just nowhere to go. And he decided himself to switch off wide, and he cost him ground. And in fairness to him, he got going again. He finished 3rd, but when you have a dog called Ballinabola Jim out front, you know he stays 600 yards strongly. There was no catching him. He is just singing a very sweet tune at present for Brendan Murphy and the Murphy Ballinabola syndicate.
Oh, he is. He's absolutely flying. And there was a couple of them standing behind me in the stand when the race was going on, and they were roaring him on, and they knew their fate off the 1st and 2nd bend. Like, once he's in front, like, that's pretty much game over. Like you said, the laddie da, look, I know in England he missed the break a couple of times, and those, I know you stayed loyal to him, but a couple of people that weren't really familiar with him sort of had him down.
Had no choice, the put him was down.
but a lot of people, I heard a lot of people saying, like, oh, he's if he turns close, and you're just like, you're almost shaking your head, like, you haven't seen anything when this lad starts, and he's as good a dog as I've seen around the country for the last 2 years, and I wouldn't be losing faith in him at all.
For as long as he remains in the competition, whether he's starting or not starting, he's going to be a danger.
Oh, yeah.
Because you know there's that huge run in him. Yeah. Like, he is the one dog in the Derby that's capable of doing a 29-second run on the right track.
Yeah.
But he's going to need to start better.
Oh, he will. But like, it's sort of a mixture race, because you'd be disappointed to know that he missed the break and did things wrong in a race that you'd expect him to win. But on the flip side of it, like, I thought he ran an incredible race to be 3rd. I really did. I thought, the moving, the in and out, the getting checked, getting moved, like, the engine is still there. Like, if I've backed him at long odds anti-post, I would not be in any way concerned, because I thought that he ran an unbelievable race to be 3rd. I really did. And we're missing there Dino's Bay in the middle of the 2 of them.
Good old Jerry again.
Yeah, Jerry Mealy, like we said it last night, like, Jerry will have trained him to an inch of their life, and Dino's Bay, like, ran a huge race again, and a good time there, 29:40. So Dashing Toro was back and forth, and I'm pretty sure he qualified as well. So.
17:22, so it means he's coming home in 12:18. He's strong, Ballinabola Jim.
Yeah.
It's a good run. The next heat went to Knockeen Dazzler, another one of these real hot pots. The outside was certainly favoured on one of these competition groups, and a lot of them were talking about, the outside bias. I think you just got to look at the
Yeah.
dogs that run from the outside.
Correct.
And Nocky and Dazzler was always going to lead in this contest, and you would have expected him probably to do faster than 29.72, but it's the first round of competition. He's not fully tuned, but I thought showed great pace to get to the front. It looked like it was going to be comfortable, and then all of a sudden Arthur Cornflake just started moving. He was a dog that had won twice here in the past, including 5.75 yards, very strong. Again, for all that we said about March on Freddy, like they're coming over with a dog that's really known as nearly the best in the UK. Arthur Cornflake isn't quite spoken of in the same terms, but they knew they had a Shelburne Park Greyhound, a dog who had Shelburne Park form, and they brought him over, and they certainly deserved to qualify. Nocky and Dazzler did exactly what he was needed to do tonight. I thought Arthur Cornflake ran a blinder in second, and of course Dramana Dano. This time last year we were talking about him again. Just comes out of nowhere, runs very well through the Derby, and the Derby plate subsequently runs very well for the O'Briens.
Yeah, no, look, this was a real taking performance, from, like you said, from Arthur Cornflake, and you'll have to pardon my ignorance. I don't know his UK form at all. Like you said, he's ran twice before he moved to the UK. I didn't really know him as Dapper Rupert either, so I knew little to nothing about the dog, and I was blown away by his performance. I thought of the dogs that,
great punditry.
that stood out. Yeah, well, I'm going to be honest about it anyway, but like of the dogs that I wouldn't have known much about coming into the Derby and being impressed by, he was the one. Like you wouldn't want, if you're an early pacer, you wouldn't want him turning behind you. Like the ground he made up and coming home, he was a really, really impressive striking white dog. So and like you said, fair play to Connections coming back over. Nocky and Dazzler, I thought he'd be quicker to the third bend. I know the 29.72 even wasn't there. I explained I could have understood him coming home, but I thought it looked quicker. It looked visually more impressive to the third bend.
It'll need to be quicker.
Yeah,
when he goes into the competition, he takes on the real early speedsters as well. He's going to need to be quicker.
Oh, he will, and I'm sure. Look, Pat, he's obviously settling in with Pat. We obviously know the story with Daniel and training him through the Kirby, and now he's gone to Pat. And look, he couldn't have gone to a better trainer, but I just visually I thought he was doing quicker to the third bend, and when the 17.17 came up, I was almost surprised, But look, we know the engine is there. Arthur Cornflake, as you said, and Dramana Dano, write him off as your Pearl. He just always turns up at this competition. Loves
just
it.
Sneaks in. He just has his name planted in that frame. Untold Dollar got there. 29.55 again leaves 3 or 4 lengths out of the track, much like he did in his previous start here at Shelburne Park. Glengar Martha looked like she was going to do the layers, a big turn for the second year running in the opening round. She probably needed the run or two. She swung wide off that last bend. It just left the door open for Untold Dollar. I know you haven't had much chance to watch it again. I heard a rumour that they were thinking of changing him to a middle seed. They left him as an inside seed. He's got trap 3 the next night, just to let you know. But I don't know. Maybe he wants it just a little bit further out. But again, there was a couple of times where he looked up the inside, was forced to check. He had to check his stride twice this contest, and it should really have cost him victory. But only his class and his pace got him there. He's a very fast greyhound. Like, he's still a big player in this Derby. If he smartens up at traps, I think he's well and truly capable of competing against the very best dogs that we've been mentioning. But had to work hard tonight.
Yeah, but that 29.55, like. He's capable of doing 29.30 there tonight in that run. Like you said, he's a dog. He ran in Ireland, then he went over to the UK, and I didn't follow him in the UK. But since he's come back to Ireland, it seemed to take him a race or two to get back to that level. But like you said last week, last week it was. He was very impressive. I know you put him up in your anti-post tips, but I think tonight was. I know the clock wasn't as good as he done last week, but I thought tonight was a massive step up, even on what he done last week. I know 29.39 last week was a fantastic run, but. We know he'd all the gears in the world. We know he'd all the pace. I thought the determination he showed tonight, he got closed off once or twice, and he wasn't prepared to give up the ghost. And I know Glengar Martha will come on for the run. I've no doubt about that. But she stays every yard of it, and she's a strong lady. And like it was determination that got him up there on the line, and he ticked another box for me. And if you did follow Ian's tips, well, you might need your head check for following the tip in the first place. But if you did follow him in on this lad, I think this lad will trim in the market substantially. A very, very taken performance from tonight. Glengar Martha. Pat always seems to be able to get this one to fly when it matters, and she winged it out again tonight, but just unlucky on the run home. And Jerry Holian with Hot Wood going through again, a dog who's been campaigned sort of outside of Shelburne. I'm sure the more he sees of Shelburne, he'll only improve for the runs. Yeah,
Droopy's Avatar actually quite progressed as well in fourth spot there for Robert Gleeson. Yeah, Untold Dollar. I think the best way to put it is, having suffered the traffic he did, I'm not sure too many more dogs in the Derby would have won from what happened. I think that sort of sums him up. Yeah, Heat 23 was an interesting contest. This was Born to Perform was installed at a really short price favourite for a bitch that hadn't won a race since January. She's talented. She doesn't want to be in there. She drifted off on a few occasions. She's now a middle seed, which you can understand. But as it was, she still had her chance, and she worked her way back to the front, having been headed. And as it was, Clonfert Annie, you know, a bitch that I've been keeping an eye on for recent weeks. She really does stay on strongly. And she got there. She got there in the closing yards. She is strong. You know, it's 29.91. You know, I'm not saying the Derby winner is going to be coming from this heat, but you know, they were first. They were the first two, and Bonkers and Yonkers back in third. Having flown down the back straight, just didn't really drive the third bend. If he had, he might well have gone to the front. But as it was the two ladies first and second, Bonkers and Yonkers third. Anything to add?
Yeah, it was a strange race. The lead changed hands 2 or 3 times. Like Born to Perform, she let out, moved off, got past into the back straight, took it up again down the back straight, got past again, but she stuck at it, and it looked like she had it won up the home straight. And then Clonfert Annie getting up in the latter stages, like you said, Bonkers and Yonkers. I think when he didn't lead, I know he showed pace into the third bend, but he's a dog. I know plenty about seeing him running in Kilkenny. Like the 550 would stretch him, and when he wasn't in front of the third bend, he was never going to outstay the. Goose was cooked. Exactly, yeah. But look, is the Derby winner in it? Probably not. But I think from a viewing perspective, I thought it was a very entertaining race. You wouldn't like to be trading it in running, because at 2 or 3 times the lead changed hands. But yeah, a very entertaining heat, and you know, Clonfert Annie and Born to Perform, 2 more ladies, another 1-2 for the girls.
Yeah, John Young was campaigning her around Mullingar. I think he knew he had to leave Mullingar. She was probably just going to run out of room to race, because the grade just didn't allow it. She's been running very well here at Shelburne Park. It was good to see her getting her head in front. She deserved that. On to Heat 24, where In Good Time, spoke about this earlier on this evening to Barry, and sort of we spoke about the 2 powerhouses on the outside, Black Eye Turbo and Deadly Choice. But I said to him, what if In Good Time gets loose? And it took a while. He challenged into the opening corner. He's kept wide by, you know, he's on the outside of Bartlemy Cop and Hello Sonny. But when he went to the front at halfway, as fast as Deadly Choice is, he wasn't going to make up the ground. He was after giving them a trap rise, and Black Eyed Turbo found traffic in the corner. And In Good Time, like, he's from a very fast, strong running family. When he got to the front, you just sensed that was that. In fact, I thought he kicked again off the last bend. He wins in 29.63. I think he's good for a bit better. I'm sure Brendan he's a long journey home. I'm sure he's delighted.
Oh yeah, like this, you know, this dog was doing savage runs earlier in the year, and it's mad the way 1 or 2 runs can sort of, you can forget about a dog. Like we had Bregamore Dice last night, and In Good Time was another one of those. You know, he's been crowded or finding trouble at the opening bend in his last couple of starts. He almost gets a little bit forgotten about, and then he bounces back in a nice way tonight. Like, you know, a 17.44 to the third bend, doing 29.63. You're better at the third bend sections home.
12.19 home. That's good running.
Do you know what I mean? Like, so, and we know he's capable of going up a lot quicker. So make no mistake about it, this is a fair dog now. Like, he's up there with, on his days, as talented as the majority of the minute. So like, it was great to see him bounce back.
Few people talking about Deadly Choice. He's one of those. He's gonna take money out of your pocket. You know, he's gonna be an eye catcher most nights. He's not going to win too often, though. That's the problem.
I know I keep talking about Beach Avenue, but he's close to my heart. That's why I make reference to him. I'm not saying he is Beach Avenue, and I'm sure Connections would love if he was as successful as him. But you know, he's a type of dog. If he lines up in a heat at 16, 20 to 1 in an unbelievable heat, you'd love to have your few quid in him. But when he's shorter, and I'm not knocking him, it's just the style of running that they don't have that clear early pace to clear them.
It's a lot to ask over 550.
Exactly, and you know, and they can often just get in their own way a little bit, but the engine is there, and that's the most important thing. And you know, regardless of whether you're Bockos Diamond, BoyleSports Bob, like, when you see Deadly Choice in the race, you know you're in with a very, very talented greyhound, and he is very, very talented. And Bartholomew Cop going through as well for Kieran Lynch. A Cork Raider has to come on for the Shelburne Park form, you'd imagine.
That guy Turbo progressed as well, if I remember rightly.
But did.
We'll move on to Heat 25, the penultimate heat of the round, and this was a lady who was given a strong chance to issue there. Obviously, Romeo Taylor was the key to the race. We all felt he was a very likely leader, probably a 90% chance he led. That 10% came to the fore. He walked out. It just didn't happen for him. He's a long way off the pace. You know, that could come back to the fact that he, you know, ran the Laurels final, ran a big race on a really heavy track, and just tired. And it just ran tired. He just didn't come out. He just never really showed any sparkle. In contrast, Ishii there went up very well. She drove the corner. She forced Prince Nassim to check wide, who then left a gap for Quarry Boy to shoot through. And we know he's big down the back, and he charged up into the third bend, took over from Ishii there, and is she there rallied to the cause? She really does kick again. And, we've seen her recently in Shelburne Park. She's been running very well at 28.42 winner here back in September 27th. And you saw that sort of, that guts and that knowledge of Shelburne Park come to the fore. Just a good winner.
Yeah, no, very much so. And like you said, just on Romeo Taylor, he completely missed it. I thought he was actually pacing up fairly well. Like, he was going to challenge. Now, I know it mightn't have been the strongest early paced race in the world, and he was the clear early in it, but he got wiped at the corner, and that was it. Then once he found that trouble, he was in with 5 strong running types. He was never going to back run any of them. But is she there? Yeah, for Eugene Price, it's great to see him back with another lady, and she ran a massive race. Like, she's been competing in good company as of late, and like you said, rallying again to come back. Like, it's an asset that you love to see in a derby, because it's 6 weeks. It's never going to go your own way every night. So she was able to show that. And Quarry Boy, exactly like you said, the Heffernan's back with another dog. They're well able to
always
do it.
have one.
Yeah,
always get a few rounds out of them.
Exactly. Now you said it.
Yeah.
And Sean Conway as well with Prince Nazim. This is a dog I know plenty about. Obviously ran in the unrest in Kilkenny and has great Kilkenny form, and delighted to see Sean with a runner into the next round as well.
Yeah, the Bergens really do love this dog as well.
Yeah.
They follow him all the way around the place, and yeah, he's a consistent campaigner. Now to the last heat. I will cut this one short, I think.
Yeah.
Listen, it looked like it was absolutely going to plan with the 2 big guns charging clear into the opening corner. It was like, let's settle in now. We're going to enjoy this buckle. And then all of a sudden, the bitch is sort of moving off, and the dog is moving in, and they clash. We talked about Crafty Shavu and Cheap Sandwiches, and they got entangled, and all of a sudden it looks strange. Then all of a sudden, Not a Wink gets involved, and that is what it is. All of a sudden, Benamedina Puma's left, Ballyhimmock and Leo's left clear, but he just starts pedaling into the third bend, and Benamedina Puma passes him and goes on to win. And well done to Stephen Pennell and Kevin Loughnane, the only heat winner that didn't break 30 seconds. But given the fact of the race, the way it was run, it's no surprise. But listen, they'll be delighted going down the road, and we don't want to forget about them. Like this, he was the heat winner of the Derby, and thoroughly deserved in the end. Like, he missed the traffic, and he did things right. He charged to the front, down the back straight. It wasn't as if he was left in front. But this race, all the talk will be about that first bend traffic.
Yeah, and I'm devastated for connections to Crafty Shavu. I really am. From my vantage point, and I didn't see the replay back a couple of times from heavy.
Your vantage point was on my shoulder.
Yeah, I was up in getting ready to do this with you, but I thought Cheap Sandwiches winged out. I thought Shavu didn't actually trap as well as she could, but I thought the early pace she showed.
Yeah, she showed massive early.
To lead, like, he's flying to the corner recently. Like, he's running out of his skin as of late. He's a dog I thought could potentially win the Derby, that Cheap Sandwiches, and I thought he's got real good brute early speed, but she absolutely tore into the corner, and she's cleared him into the bend 3 parts of a length maybe, and then the fact I know she's had a trial here last week, but the fact she's been running in Cork or whatever, she just steps off the corner, he steps in, he clips her from behind, he drags her down. I know people have been saying that it looked funny what she did. I don't think the bitch had, I don't think there's a bad bone in her body. I would completely argue the fact
she shook off all the traffic. Exactly. And to run as well as she did afterwards, I don't think
it breaks my heart that she's gone. It really does. Like, because
I hope it's not her last start.
Yeah, so would I. Yeah. Obviously nature will probably take its course, and depending on seasons and stuff like that. We obviously have the winter festival here later in the year. I'd love to see her back here, but she's a lady that when she won the Oaks, I thought she was a good Oaks winner. I didn't think she was like the best I've ever seen. I thought she was a really, really good Oaks winner.
She was an Oaks winner where you would love to see her again with another 2 or 3 runs, because she was just proving out of sight.
She was just,
and that told true in England because she was a superstar.
That's it. Like, and the Divleys had her there to win the Oaks, done an unbelievable job with her, and then she's gone across the pond. And the night she ran against the Laddie Dow over there, I thought it was one of the best races I've seen. I don't know, it was a quarter final of the Derby. It was just one of the best races I've ever seen live. It was an incredible head-to-head battle. And she's gone on and just bettered it every time since. And for her to go out tonight, I think it ended on a sad note. But look, like you said, we can't dwell on that. We have to move forward. Benamedina Puma, like you said, ran a massive race. Ballyhimmock and Leo is no slouch, and when he hit the front, I thought he'd nearly win. But Benamedina Puma wasn't to be denied. And his last 2 trials are very good. 28-26 up here, 29-77. Like, a dog coming up from Tralee, you never really know how they'll handle the step up in class. And I think he'll come on again for the run. Ballyhimmock and Leo, and Cheap Sandwiches, look, could have been worse for him too. Do you know what I mean?
He ran a big race to qualify.
Exactly, and Connections will not mind. They didn't win tonight. They'll be just over the moon to qualify. And look, desperately sad for the Crafty Shavu Connections, but well done to Ballyhimmock and Leo, Ballymadine Puma, and Cheap Sandwiches going through to the next round.
You're happy with your lot. BoyleSports Bob is obviously your greatest chance of a victor, but if you had to pick something else, what would it be?
Bombay Pat.
Bombay Pat. I had a feeling you were going to say that. Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't mind Bombay Pat in my portfolio. That's right. He is actually.
Well,
he is
your
actually.
portfolio is as long as the list that are on the table. But if you had to pick
Not that
one,
long.
if you had to pick one
I
yourself,
think Bocco's Diamond is still the Greyhound
Okay.
Beat. But if Bombay Pat was to find a half length of boxes, it could be a very different scenario. But I think it's what they call a special derby.
Brilliant.
I think we have lots to look forward to. That's it. We have seen the Derby winner. We just don't know what it is just yet. Seen 26 opening round heats. Next week, we'll have 16. 8 on Friday, 8 on Saturday. If you can get to Shelbourne Park, it's certainly worth a visit. It's a special time, Derby time. And here at the new Shelbourne Park, well, it's a great backdrop for what is great action on the track itself. But that's it from myself and Kevin. Again, my thanks to the child, as he was once affectionately known. Doesn't look so much like a child anymore. But that's it from us here late into the night at Shelbourne Park. We'll see you next week.